Live. So, welcome to another episode of My Morning Coffee, where the conversation is always hot, bold, and full of flavor. Here with our other guest host, Miss Gia. Hey.
Good morning.
And Miss Syreeta.
Hey, y'all.
And we will definitely give our amazing guests some time to introduce themselves as we go around and discuss what is in our cup. So I hope y'all got y'all cup of something. What you've been up to and what's going on with you. So let's go ahead and start with you, Miss Gia.
Morning. I have coffee in my cup this morning because it's raining and I need to wake up out here in LA. But I haven't really been up to much other than working and working. That's all I've been doing. I've been kind of laying low. I haven't been feeling that great because, as you know, I have a few injuries. I'm trying to nurse back to nurse back so I can be right. So I have a hand injury, and also I found out I have tendonitis in my left ankle. So it's kind of slowed me down on a lot of things that I want to do. Like I want to get out and get some exercising in, but it's hard with this ankle hurting. So I'm trying to figure out ways, something I can learn to do at home on the couch to exercise. But I'm going to probably start riding my bike again. I have a bike, so I'm going to pull that out and get to riding. And other than that, I've just been creating things. I want to give a shout out today, really. Today I'm rocking, you know me, I like to, even though I'm a creative, I also like to support other creatives and stuff. And I have a lot of creative friends and sorority sisters. And this weekend, I got a package in the mail from one of my sorority sisters from New York. Shout out to Brooklyn. Verna, she crochets. She's a awesome creative. She makes some awesome things with those needles, and she sent me the shirt, and it also has a matching mask, but this is the shirt so you guys can see it because it's raining. I decided to wear it, and then she also made this mask to go with it so I can, when I go out, I can mask up. So I thought that was sweet. So I want to give a shout out to Verna. We call her V from Brooklyn. I'm rocking her crochet top. I love it. And I also paired it with one of my hair wraps, my tie-dye denim hair wraps, as you can see. Looks good together. And this is a hair wrap that I had I made, and I also sewed leather patches on it. So it has leather on the head wrap. So I was doing a little something different with the hair wrap. So I'm gonna rock it today so that people can see the hair wrap in a different form. But that's all I've been doing. Just, I'm trying to stay off Facebook because I've been seeing things on Facebook that has me disturbed. So I've been trying to lay low, that kind of stuff. But other than that, that's it. What about you,
Miss Syreeta? What's in your cup?
As usual, tea is in my cup because I can't do coffee unless y'all want me to be up and at 'em until 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. And I have been really, really, really busy. This climate has created, opportunities for me to continue to be of support to others. I have been doing some mental health chats with people in the industry and not, as well as I just had an article come out that I was quoted in announcing my partnership in collaboration with LVRN, the record label. So I'm excited about that. It may not sound like it in my voice, but I am excited about it because we are creating the first mental health and wellness division of a record label. And it's something that I believe is a long time coming, and we are going to be, we are supporting artists, creatives, staff, as well as executives. So creating with Just Be Consulting, which is my consulting company, we're creating 4 different phases of the rollout. So I'm really excited. We're in phase 1 right now, which is being of support, and then we'll roll out hopefully by the end, I don't want to say by the end of the year, but within a year span, rolling out hopefully all 4. So it's taken up a lot of my time. I'm really busy and mostly overwhelmed all the time.
What other industries do you think should maybe implore some type of mental health unit?
Everyone would benefit from it, honestly. Every industry, every corporation, every company should have a mental health professional on staff, on payroll, because you never know what people are struggling with. And, it should be an integral piece, just like you have HR, just like you have finance. You should also have mental wellness, because a lot of people find themselves to be more productive when they feel as though their company cares about them. And the way to care about them is to pay them a decent and livable wage, as well as to take an interest in their well-being, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So those 2 things are vital to having people stay loyal and to be productive. So it's a good business move as well.
Very good. How's that move coming along to Atlanta?
It's not. I'm not going to Atlanta until this coronavirus makes a decision to go away. I am really excited about moving, but it doesn't seem very feasible to put myself in a position where I'm leaving LA to go to another place on a plane, especially given the fact that I take care of my grandfather. I don't feel comfortable making myself susceptible to anything and then bringing something back to LA and potentially him getting it. So I'm being very cautious and really careful just in my moves altogether. There's folks that I can't even see that are near and dear to me that I'm like, nope, I don't know your living habits right now. So I'll see you on the flip side. What about you, Tonya? How you doing?
You know what? I'm good. It's been pretty busy. I'll get to that. I'll tell you guys all about it. But I want to hear from Ms. Shatava. I want her to introduce herself to the people and let us know what's in her cup and what she's been up to and all that good stuff. Ma'am?
Hello. So hi, everybody. I am Shatava. Let's see what's been going on. A lot has been going on. I am the owner of Hourglass Custom and Boutique, which is a clothing brand. So for me, my norm is being in a boutique store, interacting with customers, interacting with clients, and putting on fashion shows. So everything has kind of come to a halt. So for me, trying to move my business more towards online, which is good anyway, and developing a foundation for your business. You should have a strong online presence. And I didn't realize how much that mattered until now, because one, you need to be able to reach your customers. I'm a designer. I also sew custom. So how do I connect with my customer? How do I reach the customer? So what I've been doing is different podcasts, different online broadcasts on things of that nature, just helping reach people in my industry, what to do to make my fashion industry better, or my business in particular better, and just little things that I can improve. Like, we don't realize the importance of simply reaching out to our customers, saying thank you, sending out thank you cards, because that person didn't have to support you. So it's important that we let our customers know that, we appreciate them. Even our listeners, whomever you have that follow you, we really appreciate you, because you could be doing so many other things during this time, but you're taking the time to support whatever I'm doing. So, acknowledging my customers. And on the flip side, I also do real estate. So it's crazy because I just bought a property in February. This is before, we really. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I just said congratulations.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm rehabbing properties in Michigan, which is a thing because I'm having to go back and forth, which mind you, wants to fly right now. So it's crazy. Last week, I hopped in a car in a pickup truck with my stuff in the back, my tools. I brought my brother, I brought my boyfriend, and we drove to Michigan. And Yeah, it's 10 hours, long hours. But, you know, I felt safer than flying. And it was actually a real thing. My mama's in Tennessee. I stopped by to see her. Like some of my friends are in Kentucky. We stopped in Kentucky. So, but anyway, rehabbing properties in Michigan, and Michigan is closed. None of my contractors want to work. So that leaves me to, I'm about to go in there and bust down some walls and do it myself because it has to keep going. And I'm on a time schedule of having this property rehab. So I'm having to do a lot of things myself. So I've learned how to be a
Tool belt diva.
yeah, laying drywall. So on one flip side, I'm like this fashion person with all this fashion sense. And then on the other flip side, I'm dirty and laying drywall and yeah.
Gia knows a little bit about having two different sides and working in two different industries all together.
I believe in multiple streams of income. I'm a hard teacher of we must have multiple streams of income. I mean, if you can sustain, if you got one industry that's bringing in you multi-millions or whatever, that's amazing. But, you know, for entrepreneurs and us with small business, I just believe, you know, bring in money from different areas. That's what it's all about.
Very good. I own the toolbox in my house too, girl. So, you know.
So do I. As do I.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do what we got to do, right?
Yes, the hammer, the screwdriver. I know all of it now.
Great.
Phillips, the flathead, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into what's going on in Atlanta, Miss Courtney, what is in your cup this morning, and how are you? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Y'all, I'm so new to this Zoom stuff. I done had a million meetings and all of them go just like this. So, I'm doing great this morning. I've got tea in my cup and I've been really, really busy. A lot of you may know I was a flight attendant. Well, I am still a flight attendant. I'm currently not working because I took a personal leave of absence. We all know the situation at the airports right now. I'm also a newlywed. Luckily, I was able to have the wedding of my dreams with Shatava as my bridesmaid standing right beside me, right before all of this stuff got crazy. And so I have been really focusing on transitioning from, you know, living the life of a fly girl to moving into more of an entrepreneurial role. And so one of the things that I've done since my wedding, when I was getting married, one thing that I noticed was anytime you put bridal or wedding in front of something, it automatically jacks the price up 20% or more. So, and I thought, you know, that is so terrible. I was out shopping with Shatava one day. We were going to some wholesale stores and I saw a headpiece that I had looked at on Etsy and was gonna buy, and they wanted like $240 for the headpiece. Went out to the wholesale store, saw it for $20. So that inspired me to create Bling, Bridal, and Beyond, which is, I call it, you get affordable luxury accessory pieces. You can use them for weddings, formal wear, proms, whatever. But it just really, I really wanted to bring quality jewelry, formal wear jewelry at a quality price. You know, I just think it's a shame the way they jack the prices up on us. You're already spending more money than you like paying for a wedding that you're gonna probably be paying for the next few years. So that was my way of giving back, and just, I really enjoyed the whole wedding planning process. So Bling, Bridal, and Beyond was born as a result of that. So I've been working on that. I've gotten into eyelashes here lately, magnetic eyelashes more specifically. So I've become an independent distributor and marketer of those. I'm having like a great time with that. These things are like flying off the shelves. We can't even keep our inventory in stock. Wow. Also working with my husband. He and I are starting, he's in the pharmaceutical industry. So I've been watching him for the past few years and I'm like, this is kind of interesting. What's this, what's that? And so I've kind of found a niche that I wanted to explore with him. So now we're creating our own pharmaceutical manufacturing, filling, and distribution area of the whole pharmaceutical sectors. So that's really exciting. I'm planning to do like Shatava and get into the real estate. She and I, and actually our other castmates, Stormy, are all in the process now of creating a nonprofit and also rehabbing more buildings in the Detroit area and hopefully using those properties to assist elderly, women and children, you know, recovery home type of situation. So we're working on that, and we're really excited about it. Shatava, I'm sorry I didn't mean to spill the beans, but I'm excited.
I didn't even mention that.
I know you did. I was like, you didn't say anything about it, but we're all working on that, and that should be coming along real soon. I'm just excited about that because, you know, we're making Detroit beautiful again, and then we're also helping the community. So it's just a really good project that I'm excited about. And Shatava's excited, and Stormy's excited, and we're gonna kill it. We're gonna knock it out of the water. I know it.
Everybody needs that kind of quarantine excitement, okay? Everybody needs all this quarantine energy right here, all this excitement. I have questions. But I want to hear about also your experience, both of you, and how they differed on the show. Tell us about that.
Courtney, you want to go first?
I was like, she can take this one.
Come on, bring it. Say it.
I mean, I don't know about you, Shatava. Well, I
Yeah,
think
you
I
do.
know. Huh?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Well, I know, like, for me, we were all taken by surprise for the format of the show. When they did the casting, it was just kind of like, are you successful and single and at least 30 years old looking for love? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, all right, we're going to help you find it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, kind of like, I don't know, housewives, married to medicine, dating style or something. So I had no clue that our season 1 was going to be kind of like The Bachelor or something, you know, like with the eliminations and what was it, Shatava, 12 women to 3 men or something? Like, was it 12 or 15?
Yeah, it had narrowed down. They almost wanted to set us up.
Yes. And we did not know. Like, we had no clue that we were signing up for that format. Like, literally, when Nephew Tommy came out and he's like, gather round, that's the first time any of us knew the format of the show. Yeah. And so, you know, and I think a lot of us were kind of taken aback by it because it was just kind of like, well, how are we supposed to find love? It's like 12 women and 8 guys, and now by the end of the night, it's going to be 5 guys. Like, what?
And isn't that Atlanta anyway? Isn't the Atlanta ratio?
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. They have to make it out of Atlanta. Like, this is Atlanta. It's way more women than men. Right. That was the format of the show. Like Courtney said, the problem was we didn't know about the format of the show. Like, we got there thinking, like she said, it was going to be this whole nice dating experience. Mm-hmm. It wasn't nice. It was just, you know, because of how they set the format, it became a competition. To become a competition.
It was like a competition. And I kept thinking, surely they're going to bring some more guys on. I kept thinking they were going to just like rotate the guys out. I was just waiting for, you know, like, here's more men. And it never happened.
No, it never happened. 0%. It just narrowed down to the few that was there. So, I mean, the format was different. But I will say, it was like they wanted us to be in competition, but we like gained this sisterhood like no other. Like, I love her to death. Stormy, Shay, which me and Shay were dating the same guy on the show, and we like love each other. Like, we talk to each other on the phone all the time. Like, we were rooting for each other. I think, you know, my last scene was, you know, me feeling like the situation wasn't for me and it was a better fit for her. So it was more like I was looking at her, like, I want her to be happy. And if I say this is a better situation for you, I'm not going to step in between something that you guys have if you feel it's right for you. You know what I mean? I don't like to block blessings, and I'm not that woman. So, you know, but it really ended up us gaining a really good friendship. And like Courtney said, we're doing business together. It's so much that has come from that show, even though they tried to make us.
Right. They weren't ready for all that
all that sisterhood.
They weren't ready.
See, we grown women, okay?
Right.
We're grown. We're not gonna bicker. I'm not 20. I'm not in my, 20, younger. I'm a grown woman, and I handle myself with class, and nobody will take me out of my character. So,
all right, grown.
And you know what? And it's so crazy because I don't know if they thought it was gonna be that with us bickering, but it ended up being a really good show just because of the sisterhood and the fact that we didn't combat against each other. I think that's what everyone really liked about it.
And it was something different, because we've unfortunately become desensitized to, especially Black women, being pitted against each other and falling into the trap of being pitted against each other. And so for it not to happen on this show is a breath of fresh air that they couldn't have scripted. They didn't realize that the organic nature of the group of women that they put on was going to allow for a new way of looking at Black women on TV.
Oh, yes. And it's so funny, even when we came to film for scenes, like almost they would want to set you up with somebody you're supposed to be going against, but it never happened. So, yeah.
Speaking of sisterhood, did you guys have a chance to check out the Jill Scott and Erykah Badu versus?
Oh, man.
So much sisterhood.
I did.
That was like the ultimate sisterhood, the vibe that, you know, in the time that we're in, where everyone's going through so many mixed emotions, so many things are going on with so many different people. Like that was like a total vibe. It was just the energy just was, oh my God.
Did you stay for the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I
In
did.
fact, it's so funny. I had it up on my computer while I was on my phone. People were calling me like, look, are y'all watching this live? Like, you got to call me back. And it was long. It was, but it was so good.
People cooking cakes, whole meals during, by the time it's over.
Right.
My favorite part is when Jill was paying kudos to Erykah when she was telling her that you gave me my first start with the, the song If You Don't Wear Me. She was talking about her being in traffic and they called her up and she got her little time to shine and kind of introduced to the world who she was. I just thought that was like a full circle moment. Like, I just thought that was such a beautiful moment. And the fact that Jill gave kudos to Erykah, she was like, you gave me that moment, I was just like, oh.
I think the men learned a little something from the ladies because the Nelly and Luda event was so much congratulatory love, brother love, going back and forth too. So I loved how they passed it on, they kept that vibe going. They kept moving forward with, with the celebrating each other and celebrating the culture and celebrating the music. I think the women kind of put them in line on how we should be towards each other. And they did good too. They did good too. So I do want to ask you, Ms. Shatava, about your line. We had a amazing webinar yesterday with the legend out here, Big Pee Wee, and some other amazing individuals talking about branding and their businesses. In specific about your clothing line, are there other innovative ways that you see being able to get your merch out to the people? So how you're going to utilize technology, collaborations, what are your next moves in this new normal in regards to your line?
The thing about it now for people who I can't touch in person is understand the message behind the line. So Hourglass is a clothing brand aimed at celebrating the sexy and unique makeup of a woman. I started it because really out of a need and frustration that I used to always have issues finding quality clothes to fit me. Like I would go in stores and I would see all of these nice items for these small girls. And I'm thinking, whenever I tried them on, I would feel ashamed, like something was wrong with me because it's not fitting me properly. So I was like, you know what? No, it's nothing wrong with me. It's something wrong with the clothes. So I just decided, I grew up from a sewing background, like my grandmother sewed, my mama sewed. So, and then we weren't I grew up from humble beginnings. Like we didn't have a lot of money to go and get the best things. So we made a lot of the clothes that we wore. So because of this frustration, I just started making clothes and I started making things for me. I think in college, I started off with denim because denim was the worst thing for me and trying to find jeans to fit my waistline. So I was like, you know what? I'm putting my darts in, I'm doing different things and I'm actually sewing them up from scratch. And I was selling that out of my trunk. So it started there, then it grew from denim to more clothes and really just encompassing women of all sizes. So I go from small to plus size and the name of the line is called Hourglass because all women are curvy no matter where your curves are, whether it's your breasts or your hips, we're all curvy in some type of way. And we should be able to go into a store or shop online and understand and know that that's going to fit us properly. So I'm really big on making sure everyone understands the foundation of the line. And then from here, how I go online is just getting that message out there. So many platforms that we have now, whether it's TikTok and doing crazy fashion videos, like showing you how you can dress up your wardrobe at home or whatever, how you can play with fashion during your meetings and things like that. And also, like, I found out that women don't understand how to dress for their body type. So things like that, explaining, you know, if you're big busted, things that you should stay away from. And when you
Like what?
Button-up shirts. Like, you know, you see a lot of women that are big busted, they always lose that button here because of that. So more things that are flowing, more things that fit you that are a little bit looser than something tight, especially something that you have to, or girls that have a smaller waist, like high-waisted is really in, high-waisted pants, something that accentuates your waist. So that's like the hourglass shape and accentuating there, and just different body types and learning what that means for you. And I always tell people to make a list of things that you don't like or that make you feel uncomfortable. That way you'll know what to stay away from. Because sometimes you go out and you say, hey, that top looks good. But no, remember, I said I don't like crop tops, or I said I don't like A-line tops. So let's stay away from that, because you're going to end up being upset and having that feeling of, you know, I told myself this doesn't fit me right, and I'm trying to put it on, but it's not looking right. So now I feel like I wasted money. You know, so just getting that message across and, you know, reaching back out to my customers. Now I have different platforms on my site. Shopify is amazing for whomever is starting their website and trying. It's been working for me only because there's so many plugins on retargeting, email campaigns, you know, your blog, and it's so many things out there that we can use to, especially within the clothing industry, to make our brands better. We just have to understand those and figure out how those things are going to work for us.
I want to say something, being I'm a fashionista, so you made a good point, and I think what's happening now, what needs to happen, because I'm also a person who has a small waist and has you know, everything else that's not so small. So I understand the struggles when you're trying to go into stores and buy things and things don't fit you because they make them for the standard size, those other people's standards, not our standards.
Right.
And people that are like you and other designers are in the industry, what needs to happen is we need to see more of us in these clothes, because what happens with anybody, we're visual people. So we see an outfit on somebody and we think the outfit's cute and we're like, oh, I like that, oh, I want that. And then we want to go to the store and buy the same outfit in our size, but in our size, it doesn't look as cute as it looked on the size 8 or the size 6. So we need to get away from that. And that's the problem with when people are shopping. They don't want to buy clothes that they're so worried about a size, a tag, you know, oh, you know, like, because I make things too. And a lot of people, they call me, they order, you know, they say, oh, I want a size, I want a medium, I want a large t-shirt. So this go with a basic t-shirt. And sometimes I go to their pages and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, you're not a large, but okay, tell you this large, okay, but you say you're large, but because they don't want to go to the next size, they don't want to see that XL or that 1X, and it's nobody knows it's a 1X but you and you know.
So how do you tell them that? Like,
you know, that's the key. I'm trying how to tell them in a nice way, because people get defensive about their size, but that's why I think you're creating clothes, you're sewing and things like that. So a part of your campaign, you know, and I'm sure you're doing it already, is to show plus size are you know, size 12 and 14 women in the clothes, so people that size can see that this is how it will look on you. Don't take that size 8 girl and think that size 8 outfit is gonna look the same way on you. For example, Tonya and Syreeta, they're petite, they look cute, little cuties and stuff, you know. They can wear something and I'd be like, oh, that's really cute. I'd be like, Gia, you got too much butt to be trying to get it. You know, something like that. So cut it out. So I can't wear it, but I want to wear it because it's like, it'd be so doggone cute, you know. So it's like,
oh yeah.
You know, so I think in the fashion industry, we need to show more of us women, you know, us, our hourglass. Look, the true hourglass. We're not talking about the size 4 hourglass.
You know what? To piggyback off that, I will say that I have model calls all the time, right? All the time. I get more small models than I do plus size models. One that's a lot of that, and I had some discussions with some women about that, a lot of that is just feeling comfortable in who you are and your body type. Like, accepting the fact that no matter what size you are, I look good. So I'm going to rock this, and I'm going to show women what this looks like on someone my size. So what I do with the line, like what I'm creating, I'm working on the line now, but I'm showcasing what this looks like for someone that's small, medium, plus size. You know what I mean? So everybody can identify with that person. Of course, it's not going to be your ideal size.
Right.
You're going to be able to relate to someone that looks like you. And like you said, a lot of times you're looking on these sites and these girls, like that outfit is not going to look like you. Right. And that's what a lot of people grow frustrated on is even when they used to come into my store, they would buy something from, I don't even want to say the name because it just makes me mad.
But don't say the name, girl. Don't say it.
They would buy something from this label and they would be so frustrated. Like the model looked like this. And I'm like, that's what you look like. So once you know that's not what you look like, you'll start to understand that that's not going to look like that on me, or even understand that maybe I'm curvy. I need a little stretch. Okay.
Right.
The outfit is 100% cotton and it's a dress and you have hips, baby, it's not gonna get over them hips.
Exactly. But see, and that's the thing, we've been made to for years, you know, to be kind of ashamed of where we've been blessed at, you know. We've been made to feel, you know, even as from a young girl that, you know, you shouldn't look like that. And so now here we are, we're in our adults, you know, we 30s, 40s and 50s, and we're still struggling with body types and feeling good in how we look. So therefore, we're still trying to look like that size 6, and we wasn't built for size 6, you know. Right. So we need to try to get away from that and teach our young girls and even some of our old women that, hey, be comfortable in you, in who you are. Because I struggle with that still. You know, it's like, you know, sometimes I'm like, you know, I don't know, because I've been made for so many years to, you know, feel some kind of way about because I got hips and I got butt. And I know people say, oh, men love that, everybody loves that and stuff. But growing up, I wasn't made to feel that they love that. And it wasn't until to me, they didn't start loving it until, you know, that girl, what's her name? I'm just gonna say,
Don't do it.
K, I think it's KK or
Stopping you.
I'm just gonna say KK. Until KK came out, all of a sudden, oh, everybody's all about it. But some of us been living with that all our lives. Right. And y'all didn't celebrate it then, but now KK, you know, all of a sudden, oh, you know, everybody wants that KK. But look, Gigi had it before KK had it. You heard it first here on my morning coffee. Gigi had it before KK. Okay, go ahead on. Go on, girl.
Hello to my morning coffee. Welcome. Welcome.
Gigi had it first.
You had it first, and you heard it here first. Right. Ms. Courtney, I do want to ask you, though, about love and newlywed life and how you knew it was love. Because, you know, we're in a stage right now where the thirst is real and people have been in lockdown and they're doing some things that probably they shouldn't be engaging in, making promises like they shouldn't be. And when they get out of jail, we're going to see how that turns out. But how do you let the people know when they are really there, when they have somebody that is meant for them? Talk to us about that in your process to get there. And did you have role models for love, you know, your family life? Did you grow up with that?
No, I didn't. My mom and my stepfather, who's like my biological father, he's not my biological, but he's like my father. But he is my daddy. So they had a very unhealthy relationship. I mean, they still do. They've been together since before I was born. So that tells you. I know they've been together about 40 years. And one thing I learned growing up watching them is I love both of them very, very much. But I learned very early on what I did not want in my relationship. And they love each other very much. I think it's just kind of a thing where you've been with someone for so long, you just keep going, regardless of what's going on. Everybody keeps going. I didn't want that for myself. When I met my fiance, well, my husband now, but when I met Terrence, I did not know. It wasn't love at first sight. It wasn't like, oh, this is my husband, I see it. You know, I didn't know. Actually, I kept going back and forth in my mind, trying to convince myself that he was still married. He had a previous marriage and he had informed me that he was divorced. But because of all of my luggage and traumatic past experiences with men and situations of infidelity and finding out that I'm the side chick when I don't know how I'm the side chick because I'm here every day. I'm at holiday parties with the family, but yet somehow there was always, you know, a situation where there was another woman. And so things in our dating process were kind of mirroring some of my past traumatic experiences. And so I never really said anything to him about it, but I just kind of noted, okay, I'm going to be a little more reserved with my feelings because I've seen this before. And when his wife calls me, I'm going to let her know what he's doing. So it was just kind of like, he says he's single, but I don't believe he's single. And it just we kept going through this little cycle like that where, you know, a month or two will go by and I'm like, okay, yeah, he's got to be single because he's here. And then something would happen. It was like, no, something's going on. He's married. He's still married. So I was kind of going through that throughout our process. And that was causing me to reserve a lot of my my feelings for him. Like I really liked him and I knew I really liked him, but I also knew that I didn't completely trust him. And it wasn't necessarily because of anything that he had done. It was just more so the things that I had experienced in the past. So as a safeguard to myself, I just said, you know what, I'm gonna ride it out. We'll see what happens. But the moment his wife calls with that, hello, Shirley, this is Barbara. Barbara, this is Shirley. I'm telling it all. Like, your husband did this. He said, here are the text messages. So that's kind of where I was at. And it never happened. I never got a phone call. And it actually took me to tear my Achilles tendon. I tore my Achilles tendon in LA. I was in a charity basketball game. Didn't even get to play. During the warm-ups, this guy fell on me, just took me out. So when I tore my Achilles, Terrence went to the doctor with me, and we went to the doctor, like, I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. Christmas Eve was on Monday, the following Monday. And this was like Wednesday. So the doctor says, I have to operate. I will call the hospital and see if they're available on Christmas Eve. That's the first day I can do it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, operate? Do what? Like, what? I'm sorry, what? And he's like, oh yeah, you completely tore your Achilles tendon. You are gonna be out of work for about 6 months to a year. You won't be able to walk for about 4 months. Now I'm thinking I just sprained my ankle or something. And so I'm like boo-hoo crying because I'm like, oh my God, like I wasn't expecting this news. And so Terrence tells me, don't worry, we're gonna go through this together. You're not alone, I'm here with you. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, okay. We'll see. But I'm like, whatever. So Christmas Eve came, he took me to the hospital. I had my surgery. He brought me home. He cooked us Christmas dinner. He like was here all the time. He never left. And then he started having conversations like in front of me, because initially he would talk to his mom or his children in the other room in private. And to me, that was a red flag, because I'm like, why can't you have a conversation with your children or your mom in my presence? Like, I don't understand that. So as time went on, he started talking to his mom and his children in my presence, which kind of let me know, okay, his kids now know about me. His mom knows about me. Hey, I'm here in Atlanta with Courtney. You know, Courtney's right here. Say hello. So I was kind of like, I started thinking, okay, well, I know him well enough to know that if he was still married, he would not blatantly, you know, have his children talking to his side chick or his mother or whatever. He's a man of integrity to that extent. And so it was really my injury that made me realize what I had in front of me. And I thank God, because I can honestly say that I nearly let all of those past traumatic experiences destroy what I have today. Like, I could have potentially, thank God he didn't run off, because I gave him every reason to. I really did, as much as I held back for my own safeguard. And it's kind of like God was kind of saying, you prayed for this man, I give him to you, and instead of embracing him and loving him, you're gonna like shoo him away, bring him back in, not love him totally. So God was like, okay, I see what I need to do. Let's just break you down so you can sit down, and you're forced to realize what I have put in front of you. And that's what happened. Like, I had my injury, and I was forced to realize that, okay, you know what? He really, truly is the amazing, incredible man that he is. He's not pretending. This is who he is. And it was so funny, because about 3 months into my injury, I was feeling confident. You know, he's single, we're in a relationship. And I said to him, you know, early on, I kind of held back a lot because I thought you were married and I didn't want to get my feelings hurt. And he's like, well, Courtney, you asked me, was I married? I told you I wasn't. And I said, yeah, but I didn't believe you. So he said, so you mean to tell me that all the things that you put me through were because you thought I was married? And I said, yeah, I do. That's why. But I know you're not married now. So he went home to Michigan. He's from Michigan. He came back about a couple days later. I'm laying in the bed, still, foot up on the cast. And he hands down a folder. He says, this is all you had to ask for. It's my divorce papers. And I'm like, okay. So,
look, he was serious about you, girl. He done went and brought the divorce papers and stuff. I heard that. Let me see them. Let me see them.
That's what he said. So he said all you had to do was ask to see him. But again, traumatic experience. I didn't want to come across as insecure or non-trusting, even though I was all of those things at the time that we were dating. I didn't want him to know it though.
But you were also displaying that. There was something, we emanate those things. So whether it's from traumatic past or we're trying so hard to keep our crazy under control, and if they see this part of us, they're not going to want all these things, all the narratives that we create for ourselves. We think that we have them on lock and they can't see it, but it seeps out. It seeps through our pores.
Yeah. And he was thinking that I wasn't interested in him. And in reality, I was heads over heels for him. I was just trying not to get hurt.
Well, that happens a lot, because especially when you find love later on in life, we've been through a lot, us women who find it later on. So you do carry that stuff, because, I'm not trying to bash on men and stuff, but sometimes men ain't always truthful. When you ask them up front stuff, they'll tell you something and you find out later, like you said, something else and stuff. So I understand where you were coming from, how you were a little leery and stuff. And I was the same way, when I got married. My husband was married before, and I was kind of like that too. Let me see the divorce papers. I understand you say you're married, but let me see them before I go down to this justice of the peace or get this marriage license. I need to see that your divorce is final, because and that's the thing, people will only tell us what they want us to hear sometime, and we don't know the truth. So, it's understandable you were like that, but luckily he hung in there with you, and now you guys are married, enjoying life together, and that's really good. Your story is really a good story. We might have to bring you guys back for another segment on the podcast. We could talk about relationships and dating in, dating over 40 or dating in, something like that. That would be a good segment, because there are a lot of issues that we deal with and we bring into new relationships when we're meeting somebody of our dream later on in life.
I think I would like to hear from both of you about your friendship, because not just with relationships of the opposite sex, but women having strong relationships is important. It's also difficult these days. So I would love to hear how you guys have been able to, even throughout the show and beyond, strike a strong bond and continue moving that forward. And what's your best advice to people that struggle to move forward with relationships, whether it's in marriage or girlfriends, based on, and Syreeta, you too, based on past experiences? Because I think many of us block our blessings based on things that have happened in the past. So how do you get past that to build these types of strong bonds?
Shatava, you want to go?
I think with me, sometimes we get so busy that we just forget how important it is to pick up the phone and just call someone. You never know what people are going through. You never know what people have going on. So I think for me, it's just reaching out. Like, I'm making sure I'm always hitting Courtney up and I'm like, hey, how you doing? And checking on her to make sure she's good. That whole saying, check on your strong friend, is so real, because you never know what people do. So for me as a friend, I just make sure I'm there when my friends need me. And that could just be listening. Like, I found out that sometimes people just want to be heard. Like, sometimes people are just going through things and they just want to just give it all to you. They may not want your advice back, but they want you to hear it, and they're going to answer their own questions. And, but it's just important. It's just, sometimes it's important to be there, just as also a helping hand. Like, we all do different things. So we can all provide different resources. Like we said, like, we're coming together to do a project, a rehab project in Michigan, where we're doing a nonprofit and we're trying to do some things for women, some women that are either homeless. We're working that out right now. But just knowing that I know Courtney is passionate about this. I know she's a good person that's going to be in here with me throughout this process, through the long haul. Like, we have to understand that some people that we converse with may not be a person that's going to be for the long haul. You really
say it again, girl.
Yeah, everybody that's in your life is not going to be in your life for the long haul. You know, everyone has a season, but you know, once people that you can share experience with, like I had to go through this, like growing up through college, I had club friends, okay? The people who I can call that we only went to the club together, but we didn't do anything else. That's all we did. Like, we didn't talk about relationships. We didn't talk about business. We did nothing else but go out. And I would be like, yeah, that's my best friend. Well, why is it your best friend? Because y'all go out and y'all jam into music together. Like, can y'all have a real intellectual conversation? Is that person going to be there for you when you need that person to be there for you? So then as I got older, I started to break down my friendships and understanding the value of having those friendships, understanding that it's so important for me. I love to just check on my friends and see how they're doing. Like, if they need help in their business, I can take time out of my busy day to help someone else. And that's what it's about. Like, we can lean on each other and help each other throughout whatever we're doing. And now that I'm older and I'm understanding the importance of friendships, not that I have to have so many friends, but I just want a group of people who I can be whole with. And I can be whole with, we can go out, we can talk, we can do business. And that to me is a complete friendship. And it's so important to nurture those friendships. Like I said, just picking up the phone and reaching out to people. Like, I don't know how many people say, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. And me, even with my dating life, I'm like, I'm so busy doing me and my business that I don't take time to think about, okay, well, what about your personal life? What about your friends? You're gonna be so busy by yourself, mama, okay? But what about your personal life? What are you doing to nurture your relationships, even with your family? Like, you can't pick up the phone and call your mom this week or next week. You're gonna really go that long amount of time, and people are dying with everything going on with COVID. Like, you know, it's just so important to nurture our friendships.
Well, I think for me, friendships have always been a weird area for me. Growing up, you know, I guess I was popular per se because I was like captain of the girls basketball team. I was a class officer. I was involved in the community. I did things like that. But I always had a hard time making friends with other Black women, with Black young girls at that time. I took honors and AP classes, so I was primarily in class with white students. It was me and another Black girl that went basically from 9th grade to 12th grade in the same classroom. I went to class with the same people. So when I would do my electives, I would be in class with, you know, other Black students. And I felt like, you know, I've always been a bubbly, friendly, outgoing kind of person, but I would get comments made like, you talk like a white girl, you think you're cute, you know, and what I was noticing is like a lot of the Black girls, they would be friends with me when their friends weren't around. But then when their friends were around, it was just kind of like nothing to say. And I remember feeling for a long time, like, what's wrong with me? Like, why don't they want to be my friend? Like, I don't talk to their boyfriends. I had the same boyfriend from 8th grade to senior year. You know, I didn't start troubles or fights or, you know, gossip or anything like that. And I just wanted to have those relationships. And I never had them because it was just kind of like, all the Black girls in my school were too busy telling me they didn't like me because I thought I was cute, or I talked like a white girl, or they just didn't talk to me. Or, you know, or they did talk to me. Again, it was when their friends weren't around. So I kind of like developed some, I don't know, like some uneasiness around other Black women, because it was kind of like, what am I doing? I'm Black, I'm you, like, we're, you know, like, I'm cool. Like, why don't you want to be cool with me? I don't understand that. So that was kind of hard growing up. Then, you know, as I got into college and stuff, and I started meeting other people, I did start, you know, don't get me wrong, I did have Black girlfriends. I had some of my best friends in high school, you know, we're still friends, best friends to this day, and they were Black. But it was just always kind of a weird thing for me, and I never could understand, like, why it was so difficult. So I just really got to a point where, you know, I said I was just gonna be myself, and if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. But it took me a long time to get to that point because of, you know, growing up and, you know, in my high school and stuff, and just the experiences that I had. Because I remember asking myself at one point, like, what's wrong with me? Like, what's so bad about me? And the problem wasn't me, it was with them. Now, you know, it took me a long time to get to that. But I will say, like, the women from the show, you know, they did an amazing job. I mean, it's beautiful, beautiful women, educated women, professional women, inspiring women, uplifting women, you know. And I just made a decision a long time ago that I wanted to surround myself with friendships that mattered. And that means with people who inspire me to do better, to be better, people who are positive and radiate good energy and good flow. And I get everybody's not supposed to be your friend, and, you know, and you can't give your energy to everybody. I've learned that. And so, you know, I had friends growing up. I had friends in my adult life, some that I'm still friends with to this day, some that I'm not. And so I think with me, friendship is just more how you feel. I'm a quirky, weird, goofy kind of individual. Like, to know me is either to love me or to hate me. There's no in between. I'm a Leo to the fullest. And so you either love me or you hate me. And what I've just come to do in life is just gravitate towards those who love me. And I love those who love me, and I love on them even more. And I tell all of my friends all the time how important and special they are to me, how happy I am to have them in my life. I'm not that friend that will call you every day, but I will get on Instagram and look at your story every day and your Facebook post every day, so I know you're doing okay. And if you go a couple days and don't post, and I'm like, what's on? You okay? So, but I'm not that friend that'll call you every day, but I am that friend that will drop everything the moment you call me and say, hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z for me. Whatever I can do, if you're my friend, I'm gonna hold you down and help you out and do my best. And, you know, in my 30s, I've learned that, like Shatava said, everybody is not meant to go with you. You know, when I was getting married, I lost 2 friends. I lost one friendship that was over 20 years of friendship. And I was devastated. Like, it really, really hurt. And it still hurts because I'm always going to love her. I mean, that's my friend. But, you know, under the circumstances, you know, things happen and people feel certain ways about things, and people that are supposed to be happy for you at the happiest time of your life aren't able to be happy for you. And that says a lot. Like, do you really want people that can't truly be happy for you? Are they really your friend? And that's a hard pill to swallow when you've invested 20 years of your life with somebody and they can just not be a part of the biggest day of your life. They've gone through all the BS with you, and now it's time to celebrate and pop the champagne, and they can't be there for that. So that says a lot. You know, and like I said, I lost 2 friends just planning my wedding, and the other one was a friend of 5 years. And sometimes, like Shatava was saying, we have people that we hang out with, we have a good time with, and we think because we hang out with them and we have a good time with them that they're our friends. And no, people have different roles. You got different roles, and you got to learn how to classify people into your life, because everybody can't be classified as a friend. You have associates, good time people, business people, and then your friends, and you have to know your friends.
Miss Syreeta, what are your thoughts on all that?
I'm always going to be an advocate for healing, and I think sometimes the people that are in our lives, they are there to help us understand where some of our blind spots are, just like in relationships. I think friendships are the same way, that there are some people that we befriend at a certain point in time in life to allow us to fully understand and embrace what we still need to work on, our blind spots, and also where we still need to heal. So I think that's a beautiful benefit. And once you've been able to move through that space, maybe the friendship will grow and flourish into the next phase of life. And sometimes it doesn't, but that doesn't mean that they weren't meaningful in your life at all. It means that it's moved in a space that you now aren't in. But also I think it's important for us to just be healed individuals. you know, hearing Courtney's story about her now husband and how she was navigating that space, still holding on to a lot of the trauma from the past, almost costed her the love of her life. And so really just being a proponent of doing the work and being in the space of self-discovery, self-love, compassion, patience, and gratitude, and learning how do we show up in the world, and how are the ways that we show up some great ways and ways that are areas of growth, but really coming in healed is important, because we lose out on the goodness of the world when we are coming from a spiteful or fearful or angry place. And nobody got time to see a bitter woman.
And Syreeta, I agree with you 100%. What tips or advice would you give somebody? Because I think a lot of us, we want to heal from the trauma. We don't want to carry it, but we don't know how or where to start. Like, what advice would you give?
Always gonna say, you know, work that through with someone. But I also, before most people decide to go to therapy, I think that we don't sit in silence enough, and we get really uncomfortable. I think that's the great thing about this time, is that it's making everybody sit their ass down and start to recognize what parts of themselves are they attempting to run away from or not face. And so we know deep down, and I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for how insightful we are with ourselves. But in those moments when you feel yourself going to a certain place, we feel it, and then because it gets uncomfortable, we find a way to distract ourselves from it. My recommendation is to kind of sit in it, because even the negative feelings have information, and start to ask yourself questions. Well, why am I so worried that he ain't telling the whole truth, or where is this coming from? And oftentimes, if we ask the questions, the answers will come, because we know where they come from. I'm sure you can pinpoint at least 3 to 5 different scenarios that were causing you to feel distrust towards your husband. So you know where they stem from, but the pain is so great that we don't think we can tolerate it. And we don't realize and give ourselves credit to know that we have and can move through more than we give ourselves credit for. And so just doing it and having the courage to do it and know that it isn't going to break us.
So that's sitting in discomfort.
Mm-hmm. Sitting
So
in discomfort.
How do we know, like, for example, a friendship that has I have what you call, like, remember when friends, like, you know how you get together with your friends, that's what I call them. And all you talk about is remember when we was doing this and doing this, but it's nothing like forward movement.
Stuff.
I think that sounds like a out to pasture type of friend. Like we put a horse that is a thoroughbred horse. Once they get older, we kind of put them out to pasture. If you're putting somebody in a remember when category, that's a pretty good sign that you have learned what you need from that person, and maybe it's time to transition.
Yeah.
Man. Well, ladies, we have had an amazing melanated Monday morning with the girlfriends. I love it. Yeah. Before we go, though, we definitely want you guys to have an opportunity to let the people know where they can find you, follow you, and support you and the work that you're doing. Ms. Shatava?
So yeah, follow my business. My line is Hourglass. It's spelled Ourglass. The website is www.shophourglass.com. And on all of my social platforms is at Shop Hourglass. And you can follow me Facebook. I'm Shatava Lindsey. Instagram and all the other social platforms, I am Shatava. So yeah, any fashionistas out there, I love to collaborate and work with different women as far as the fashion industry. If we can come together and create a line together, or if we can just bounce ideas off of each other about boutiques and running a successful boutique. And things of that nature. I love doing that. Also, if I can provide any type of insight on someone that's trying to do this, I'm an open book. I try to do my part as far as giving back and helping someone else out, especially someone else that's trying to get into this industry. And I know that I know something that can help them. I'm really good about making sure I'm sharing that information, because I do feel, especially as Black women, we just seem to think everything, again, is going to be a competition, that we can't work together to do things. And I'm just a true believer that there's power in numbers. Like, you never realize, you know, even coming together with someone else to create something can be a really beautiful thing. And with entrepreneurship, a lot of times we feel like we're alone. I have good days, I have bad days, but, you know, being able to talk to someone when you're in that state of maybe I'm not having such a good day, it's so important to have that friend, even someone online that you see that, you know, that person is doing something that you would like to do. Reach out to that person. Like, don't be scared to reach out. Like, everyone's pretty in an isolated state, so people have time, so don't be afraid to reach out. So I'm an open book. Reach out to me, yeah. And follow Hourglass. I do a lot side where we hand make everything. And I also have a boutique side where we're very selective about the items that we choose. We go from small all the way to 6X. If you're looking to model as a plus size model, please contact me. I want to see you. I want the world to see you. I want to showcase you and let people know what your size looks like, or small size as well. I love to take people and just make them beautiful and make them confident in who they are and show them how they can be confident in their own skin.
Good. Excited about that. Miss Courtney?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is I am Courtney Larisa. There you can find links to everything else. You can also go to my website, blingbridallandbeyond.com. It's kind of long, blingbridallandbeyond.com, and check out any of the formal wear accessories that we have available. Mostly you can catch me on Instagram about the eyelashes, anything else. And like Shatava said, I'm always open. I'm an open book. If you have any questions or want to bounce some ideas around or collaborate, just, you know, hit me up on Instagram and let's do it. And in the meantime, you can check out blingbridallandbeyond.com. And I also want to tell you to check out cbddrench.com. I do have a collaboration with CBD products with my bonus daughter. She's a 20-year-old CEO of the company. And so if you're into CBD, we've got roll-ups, gummies, tinctures, you name it. So that's at cbddrench.com.
I love it. Make sure we get all that information, ladies, so we can put it on the page. So when people go to look for you, we have all your good stuff right there in front of us on the My Morning Coffee podcast page. Miss Syreeta, what's going on with you?
Just building an empire. Period. That's it. Yeah, just making sure that I'm doing this rollout and that it's successful, because LVRN and I want this to be the standard, and that's what we're pushing for, that this is the paradigm shift that the music industry and the entertainment industry and beyond have at their disposal. So we're really working hard to make this as dope as possible, because we want it for everyone. So
Very good, very good. And y'all know to follow Miss Syreeta Bee on Instagram and Facebook, and her website. All that good information is there. Miss Gia, what's up?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at the Mahogany Box. Also, Shatira and Courtney and any other people out there listening, you guys could maybe join I had started a Facebook platform group called Sisters Empowering Each Other, and it was about everything you guys were talking about, sharing information, entrepreneurs and stuff like that. So if you guys want to join that group, and if you want, you know, drop some nuggets in there for other ladies that are in there trying to grow their business, that would be great. Again, that's Sisters Empowering Each Other on Facebook.
Very good. You guys know where to find me. Sand and Shores on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hopefully, if there's anything any advice you guys need, any collaborations you're looking for, make sure to let me know. We have the room on Facebook, PR Advice and Resources. It's free. I always say, information is going to be no good if I'm hoarding it. So those that are in there, if you are looking for immediate contact, if, you know, an opportunity comes about and I know someone in the group needs it, If some editors or publishers are looking for certain information, we put it in there. So feel free to jump in there, join, ask for what you need. A closed mouth don't get fed. So let's make sure we're sharing information and we are supporting each other, especially in this time. It's an opportune time for us to all, you know, rise above this COVID thing. Once it opens up, we should have some cool stuff going on. So with that being said, thank you ladies for joining us. Make sure we have all the information that we can share with you guys, share with our people about what you're doing, and keep in touch.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely be in touch with the both of you when coming out to Atlanta.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
All right,
We'll
ladies,
hold you
have a
to
good
it.
day.
All right, bye ladies.
All right, thanks
Bye.
guys.